The late anti-apartheid struggle activist Vytjie Mentor's funeral is underway today in Kimberley. The former member of parliament resigned as an ANC member in 2019 to join the African Christian Democratic Party and died as a member of Action SA. Mentor was a whistleblower in the state capture matter. SABC News reporter Ulrich Hendriks is covering the story for us. So let's cross to him live now. Very good morning to you, Ulrich. Just give us the late anti-apartheid struggle activist Vytjie Mentor's funeral is underway. Just give us a sense of what's happening.
Well, good morning. Well, Vytjie Mentor was a political animal. We all know that. And I think a funeral service here at the Vytjie Center, where she first cut her political teeth, actually displays that. We have politicians from various political parties. We've got COPE, we've got the ANC, we've got latest political home, of course, the Action SA, also presented here at the Vytjie Center, where immortal remains are being prayed over. But let's speak to Herman Mashaba in terms of he was one of the keynote speakers here at the funeral. Mr. Mashaba, you spoke about how Vytjie Mentor was a huge part of the electoral success that Action SA achieved during the last local government elections.
Well, without doubt, we were really fortunate upon the launch of our party on the 29th of August 2020, right in the middle of COVID. One day, out of nowhere, Vytjie made contact with me and arranged to have a Zoom meeting with her. And during that time, someone that I've always admired from a distance, someone committed in fighting corruption. And in our negotiations, she accepted to actually serve on our Senate. And her contribution towards our electoral success last year, it's enormous. It's something that one cannot really take for granted. That's why for us as Action SA is a real loss, because we were working with her towards 2024 when we realized a few months ago that her health was not really supporting her. That's why we then asked her to step down as the Western Cape Provincial Chairperson, focus on working with our policy unit, because she was a very strategic person. She really knew the politics in and out. She lived all her 58 years life literally as a politician, firstly obviously with the ANC, and when she started fighting corruption, unfortunately she was vilified by her own comrades in the ANC, and she found a home in Action SA because one of the core values of Action SA is the rule of law, and corruption was declared, or it's actually declared public enemy number one. So being associated with her assisted us enormously, because people believed us when we said we are there to fight corruption. With her coming from the ANC, when ANC distanced themselves away from her when she fought corruption, I was the mayor of the city of Johannesburg. In the 3 years, uncovered 35 billion rands of fraud and corruption. So here were two people committed in practice to fight corruption. So for us as Action SA, it's a real loss. But however, we believe very strongly that the spirit is going to live, and it's going to live forever. We are going to do everything possible that whatever we achieved in the 2021 local government election, we repeat it or even do better in 2024. And she was going to be part of that project, but unfortunately God has got his own ways of obviously deciding our fate.
Vytjie Mentor, a lot of speakers said she was very mischievous, very stubborn. How did you work together with such a person? I assume your meetings were quite vibrant.
Well, I think if you look at the life of Herman Mashaba, who is now 63, I've been known to really be a stubborn person. But I think what we mean by stubbornness, I think Vytjie, as much as yes, people might really think they was stubborn, she was a person of principle. She was someone who was ethical. She actually was able to identify between right and wrong. And what was wrong to Vytjie, what was right. Vytjie was not the kind of person to really stand on the fence. That is why she was very very unpopular within the ANC when they took over power, when they started corruption, when she started raising this issue about state capture. Unfortunately, as you are aware, what happened to her. And she was just not really prepared to compromise. And I think for me, personally, I appreciated having someone like that in as one of our senators, because our Senate has to be vibrant. I'm a strong believer that as a human being, I'm not complete. The only way I can succeed in life is to surround myself with equally competent and strong people, and Vytjie was one of those that I really appreciated.
Thank you very much. That's Herman Mashaba, the leader of Action SA, of course. One of their members, Vytjie Mentor, we're having the funeral service of for today. Of course, what he said, she was hardworking, very intelligent person. That actually echoed by many of the speakers that have spoken here at the funeral service. Of course, we also saw the Premier of the Northern Cape and ANC Chair, Dr. Zamani Saul, also talking about Vytjie Mentors, recalling how they used to, when she was still in the ANC, they had meetings that lasted from evening until up to 2 o'clock, because Vytjie Mentor was, of course, at the middle of that vibrant talks that were going on, whether it was about policy, whether it was about what was wrong within the ANC, anti-corruption, etc. But he also spoke about how she was ostracized and isolated once she started revealing corruption within the government and within the ANC, and saying that that while she was a very stubborn, hard-working person, she was also someone who was very respectful. So she had very robust discussions, debated very strongly with people, but with the necessary respect if the other person also had that respect for them. He also spoke about what the takeaways from her life was, and saying that she liked self-cultivation, meaning that she strived to better herself and to better the understanding of the issues that she was discussing at that moment. Of course, from the Vytjie Center here, where the funeral service is taking place, we'll be going to the Western Cemetery, where Mabel Petronella, aka Vytjie Mentor, will be laid to rest.
Thank you so much for bringing us this event that's very important.